How we doing today, guys? It's Jesse with The Common Man, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. And we have a very special guest, as you can see from on the screen here. I have John Wright, who is running for mayor of Corpus Christi, and he is here today to talk to you guys a little about himself, as well as why he's running for mayor of Corpus Christi and some of the things he's got and the plans he has for the future. So we're going to go ahead and get right into this. But before we get started, if you do enjoy the content on this channel, make sure you hit that like button, share it with all your friends, and subscribe if you are not already, because we are working our way towards 200 subscribers, and I could not do it without every single one of you hitting that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing, and I will thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. So without further ado, let's get over to John and ask him a few questions. So, John, I guess the real question is, who are you and why are you running for mayor of Corpus Christi?
Well, I'm John Wright. I was born in 1974. I moved to Texas in 1982, and I've been coming down to Corpus Christi off and on since the early 80s. I moved down to Corpus Christi in 2017. I was hired by an engineering company to monitor roof installations and photograph the material, make sure it was all up to code for Texas wind.
Very nice. And so what year was that?
2017.
2017. Okay, so you've been down here for about 5 years now then. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I guess so what about Corpus made it to where you made this your permanent residence, where you decided to end up staying down here even after some of the job stuff was done?
Well, I love Corpus Christi. I found out I really like the town. It's very inexpensive to live. It has great food. Love the Mexican restaurants. I love being next to the beach. I like going windsurfing. I also like sailing. I like fishing, I like kayak fishing in the wintertime, and I like, sailing and windsurfing in the summer.
Well, you're definitely in the right place for that. I know a lot. I have friends of mine that are in the aircraft maintenance industry, and they specifically chose a job here in Corpus because of all the fishing and stuff like that. So you're definitely in a good place for all of that kind of stuff. So I guess the next question then is, what are some of the reasons why I guess you're running for mayor? What are some of the things you've seen in the city that decided that you wanted to throw your hat in the ring and kind of go ahead and jump into local politics?
Well, the roads are terrible, and so anyway, in 2019, I was on Staples, and I was I love going to this restaurant, the old steakhouse on Alameda, and I was going in between, there's a road there in between Staples and Alameda, and I hit a pothole so bad that it cracked my windshield.
Oh wow! Okay, that's pretty bad. So that was enough to get you right in the middle of things, huh? You were like, somebody's got to fix this, and nobody else is apparently doing it.
I was so angry. I called City Hall, called the secretary down there, and I don't curse at people or anything like that when I'm angry. But anyway, right. I said, where do you want me to send the check? Where do you want me to send the receipt?
Right.
And they said, what receipt? I said, the receipt for fixing my windshield. Your road just broke my windshield, and I'm going to have it fixed, and I'm going to have you guys pay for it.
Yeah.
Because it's your road. And she goes, I said, okay, all right, there you go. So anyway, but that's one story of mine. But how I got involved in politics is I can run for mayor. It cost me $100,
Right.
I can't run for Congress, because I don't have the financial, I don't have the money to run for Congress. I have to go get 500 signatures and all this stuff,
Right.
That's the biggest seat I could run for, and so I really see a lot of trouble coming the way of the United States, and so I want to do what I can to protect Corpus Christi and the Nueces area from a coming depression, so which I think is coming. So anyhow, and I want to protect the Nueces County from this horde we have in Washington D.C. This Joseph Stalin in the White House. And so we got he wants to hire 87,000 IRS agents, right? I mean, what's he gonna do with all those agents? And so they're gonna come visit us. That's what they're gonna come do.
So I guess the question is, so I guess in that situation, because I know one of the things a lot of people in like kind of our little corner of the universe and like our little corner of the internet talk about a lot of the time is doing what we can in local areas to shore up our local leaders to make sure that if the federal government ever does try to get does try to encroach even farther than what they already had, that you would actually stand up to that kind of stuff. And that's, I know, one of the reasons why people talk about these sheriffs being so important and stuff like that. So you as mayor would stand up against the federal government if they had tried to encroach inside of city politics and kind of inside of city business.
Oh, you betcha. I would weaponize the sheriff as much as I could. And so the sheriff is a constitutional authority in the Nueces County. It's up to him what goes and what doesn't go. And so anyway, I can't force the sheriff to do anything he doesn't want to do. And so anyway, I'm not going to. I'm not a Democrat. right. But all I can do is ask him nicely.
And obviously the Corpus Christi elections are nonpartisan and stuff like that. We don't do any of that kind of stuff when it comes to that, although sometimes you almost think it might be a little bit better. But at the same time, you just never really know. This is why it's so important. This is why we do these videos. This is why we do these interviews, because it's so important to know who's running for your local elections, because if you don't, you have no idea who you're voting for. And even if they added party to them, it still wouldn't necessarily make a huge difference. So, all right, so what are some of the things, if you were elected mayor, what are some of your kind of priorities? What are some of kind of the agenda issues that you would like to put front and center? Some of the stuff you'd like to get taken care of first.
I would like to work on one road at a time. I'd talk to the guy, the company who's working on the roads and say, let's just do one at a time.
And you've got a lot of construction experience as well, right?
Yeah. I drove a belly dump truck out in Three Rivers. And so anyway, that's what we did. We built roads. So anyway, even though I just drove a truck, but anyhow, we built roads and we did one at a time.
Right.
So, so anyhow, and also have construction experience as a project manager. I've been a project manager for off and on since 2005, negotiating insurance claims, negotiating windstorm, all this stuff, monies, crews, materials, all this stuff. I was the project manager. I had to order all the material. I had to organize the crew to make sure the crew was the right crew to install that material, make sure they were certified.
Right.
You don't want to hire a flat roofing crew to put on some metal roofing.
Right. So you've got a lot of organizational experience as well, coordinating, getting resources together, that kind of stuff, which could be a very useful thing, especially concerning when we have emergencies down here. I know you talked about the roads. Is there anything beyond that? Is there some other stuff? The bridge obviously is an issue.
This has been a halt, and it's quiet.
Right.
And the reason why it's quiet is because they're arguing about money.
Right.
And so the engineering company who signed off on the bridge is responsible for paying for the bridge to be fixed correctly. And so this is what they're arguing about. And so that engineering company needs to file a insurance claim on what they did, and they need to get some more engineers out there to inspect, to get a correct analysis on exactly how big of a platform they need or a foundation to be poured to make sure that thing doesn't sink.
Nice. Yep. And that's very true. Yeah, there's definitely, I actually have one of my customers that comes in here. He actually works directly on the bridge. So yeah, it's been really interesting to get some inside information from a lot of that on him. So I guess the last question we'll kind of wrap this up with is long term, right? So say in 10 years, you're mayor for the next decade, for whatever, for however long it wants to go or whatever. What are some long-term goals? What's kind of like your future vision for the city of Corpus Christi? What kind of stuff would you like to see long-term in the city?
Well, that would be interesting. My Aqueduct, I created a nonprofit infrastructure program called the Corpus Christi Aqueduct. I designed that in 2014 to solve the drought issue in Abilene and Dallas, Texas. And so anyway, I'm a creative person. I'm always doing creative things. And so I'm writing songs. I'm doing all sorts of stuff. And so anyway, it was just one thing that I did was create this an idea to move water from Corpus Christi to Abilene and to Dallas. And so I talked to several different desalination companies. I got prices. A friend of mine worked on a pipeline in Possum Kingdom Lake. He told me exactly how much the pipeline cost to build. If we wanted to build a pipeline from here to Lake Corpus Christi, it would be about $54 million to build a pipeline here.
Yeah.
3-foot pipeline with it's got these jets in it that propel the water, and to produce a desalination a unit that would desalinate 100 acre feet of water a day would be roughly around $5 $200 million.
So the aqueduct's a much cheaper option versus the desalination plant.
Well, it is a desalination plant and a aqueduct at the same time.
Oh, at the same time.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I got you.
exactly.
So it's a combo situation.
Yeah, I called it the aqueduct.
No, that's really cool, and that's something I don't think anybody's really heard about. So that's definitely some fresh ideas that you could bring to the table on a lot of stuff, and I think that's really cool. So
when we were voting in 2020, we were voting for that high school to be built, and it's almost $370 million for the whole bond package.
Right.
And so I was like, for that much money, we could do also. I mean, we should do the aqueduct.
Yeah.
Not only that, we could sell the water to other cities like Austin, whatever, to lower the tax rate here.
Yep, that's very true. That's very, very true. All right, so John, let's go ahead and wrap this up. What if people want to find you? Where is the best place to go if they want to help out with your campaign and stuff like that? Just John Wright for mayor.
JT4mayor.com. JT number 4 MAYOR.com. And I'm not accepting any money from anyone, and so I can't spend more than $900 on this campaign. I've spent $500 already. That's all I'm going to spend.
Nice.
Because if I do spend more than $900, it messes me up. I have to hire a CPA, and I can't do that right now. So I'm just doing this to give you, the voters, an option to vote for someone else other than Paulette. Paulette's a wonderful person, but we disagree on a few issues. But anyhow, nothing against her. But anyhow, I love her very much. So anyhow, but I'm just giving you the option to vote for somebody other than her, because I knew she was going to run unopposed. So.
Gotcha. All right. Well, fair enough then. Fair enough. All right, guys, this is Jesse with the Common Man, Corpus Christi, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. I know this is something a little bit different we haven't done in a while, so I hope you guys really enjoyed it. So make sure if you want to check out John Wright and find out more information about him and decide whether or not you want to vote for him as mayor of Corpus Christi, make sure you go check out his website, which I will leave in the link in the comments down below. If you do enjoy this content, make sure you hit that like button. Share it with all your friends, especially if you like John and you want to make sure that other people vote for him and are aware of him as well. Share this video around with all your friends, and make sure if you are not already, you subscribe to the channel. This is Jesse with the Common Man, Corpus Christi, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. Thanks for watching.